All right. Hi to everyone present in the live session. We've faced a couple of glitches on Instagram, due to which we had to resume the session again. And we have Dr. Ashwin with us right now. Uh, Hi, Dr. Ashwin. How are you?
Hey, good evening. How are you doing?
Good, good. It's so good to have you here. So we'll start the session with a brief introduction from our side, and hope we just do some justice to that. And you can obviously elaborate a lot more about what you've been doing, and share your knowledge about your new initiatives as well. Um,
Sure,
so
sure.
for uh, so for everyone present in the session, please help us in welcoming Dr. Ashwin Vijay. He's an orthopedic doctor, a health expert, a fitness enthusiast, and also the founder of the InStrength, which is an initiative by the Strength India movement. And this is just a brief of what he does. He's also a social activist, and he is present across various social media channels where he's trying to help the Indian audience to build a healthier lifestyle and to give information that is not freely available to people who cannot afford healthcare easily. So that is a great thing that you're doing, Dr. Ashwin. And while we did share a brief of what you do, we would love for you to just elaborate on how you're just making this big impact in the country right now.
Oh, oh, that was a very kind introduction, and I'm actually very happy to be a part of this live. The Better India is actually doing a phenomenal job in context with taking the fundamental knowledge to the larger population, and
Thank you.
that's what pretty much I'm trying to do in context with the healthcare space. And yeah, I'm ready, Vaishnavi. I think let's do some justice to people. And I'm sure there are a lot of questions. I think we did take
Yes.
a few important questions, and I think we have listed it out already, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So
Yeah,
we will be answering some of the questions that we have collected from our audience in advance. While we'll be doing that, we'll be happy to answer a lot of questions from the live audience as well. So please feel free to ask the questions in the chat section, and we'll be addressing those as well at the end of the session. Um, so, Doctor, just to start with, we'll start with the most basic question, which is firstly, what does health mean to you? And since you are an orthopedic doctor, we would just want to learn the basic difference between, we have different kinds of pain, especially during this winter season when it gets a little more harsh compared to the regular seasons. We do have joint pains, we have muscle pain. So we would also want to understand the difference between the two. So yeah, please go ahead
right,
and help us with that.
right. To begin with, health, right? See, I see health holistically. Though I'm an orthopedic, uh, you see people think health is just being disease free, right, Vaishnavi? But most of the
Right,
time, it is about being uh, not just physically fit, it is about mentally fit as well.
right.
uh, so it's a combination of both, and it's pretty much workable, and a lot of people make that look very tough. Honestly, it is our sole responsibility to take care of that. And all you need is 30 to 40 minutes a day. If you can spend on yourself, I'm sure, good health is yours. And coming back to that question, what you asked, right? Muscle pain and joint pain, are they different? And what's the difference? See,
Yes.
this is the basic, there is a misnomer in general. People, when they say joint pain, they mistake it with muscle pain as well.
Right.
There is a striking difference between joint pain and muscle pain. One striking difference. If people can remember that, that is more than enough. One is that in case of a joint pain, be it a knee joint or a hip joint or a shoulder joint, there is something called rest pain. Rest pain means when you don't do anything, when you're idle or when you're relaxing, and there is persistent pain. So that is the striking feature of a joint pain. In case of a muscle pain, it is exactly the opposite. Most of the
Right.
time, the pain comes when you move the muscle, or when you move the body, or when you move the joint. So this is a striking difference,
Okay.
Vaishnavi.
Okay. Yeah, that is quite helpful, doctor. Actually, I hope that will help our audience and people in general to just understand if the pain is persisting for a long time, they should probably consult a doctor in that case. Doctor, a lot of us are living in the north region, and as you're already aware, there the weather is only getting like harsher and harsher while we're approaching January and February as well. So do you think, how do you feel this affects the overall health of, a person, whether it's just a working class who's going to office during this time, or elderly people who are just living at home, who have existing diseases, but also with that, they have to suffer with joint pain mostly. And with that, the young children going to school and colleges as well.
Right. Yeah, this is a common question, Vaishnavi, because
Yes.
when the temperatures drop, it does have an effect on your overall health, especially with people who have existing bone and joint issues. Yes, the pains are going to go up. There are a bunch of people, who have these flares only during winter, especially when the temperature drops below 22, 21 degrees Celsius. So that's mainly because of a phenomena. There are a lot of theories behind it, but the proven ones, there's one proven theory which says that if there's something called vasoconstriction, anything cold, when applied on your body, the blood vessels shrink. The blood supply to the muscles, joints, and the other parts of the body, they tend to become a little lesser, and especially in the extremities, your hands and your legs, because the body tries to maintain the core temperature, so it tries to protect your other organs as well. So in that case, people go in for these joint pains, especially people with arthritis. But it's not something to worry about. It's workable. The most important thing what everybody should be doing in case of this is, especially when the temperatures go down, irrespective of what the temperature is, even if you're not able to go out of your house or the place where you stay, move your body inside the house at least for 15 minutes when you start the day. And if at all it's getting cold in the evening, whenever you feel it's really getting cold, please move your body for at least 10 to 15 minutes, and instantly there is an increase in your body temperature, and the vasoconstriction opens up, and there is more blood which flows to your joints, muscles, and your other parts of your body, and instantly you feel better. So that's one thing which I would want to tell people who live in colder places, especially in the north.
Right. Rightly pointed out, Dr. Ashwin. We feel that being active is an important part of just a general healthy lifestyle, and while adding to maintaining that during the winter season, even if it's a little more difficult than the regular seasons, we should be able to do that and probably try to do that. So, addressing this, continuing with what you mentioned, we should be exercising more. So one of the things that you mentioned is that we should walk a little more on and be more active. Do you suggest any other exercises or physical activities that people could take up, especially for the younger generations? A lot of people are active in the gyms and strength exercises. Do you suggest any of those for the current audience?
Yeah, this is actually a very important question. Yes, exercises, as rightly pointed out. See, it could be anything, Vaishnavi. As you said, gym is amazing. If it is done right, yes, it does definitely, it's got multiple benefits. I've already spoken about it in various platforms. Yes, it is good for your joints. It is good for your bones. It is good for your overall circulation, and it is good for your heart, and so on and so forth. Yes, definitely gym. The only thing a lot of people tend to, mistake is either they tend to overdo it or they underdo it. So I say 45 minutes to 60 minutes if you can, train at the gym. If you're a younger person who doesn't have any pre-existing joint issues, that's fantastic. Yoga is another amazing way to, keep your body fit. See, fit is, when you do yoga, fitness is just one part of it. It just nourishes your whole being, on the whole. So yes, you can do yoga as well. Even basic walking. A lot of people undervalue basic walking, Vaishnavi, because they think it is just walking, right? What is it going to do? No,
Right.
20 minutes of walk does wonders to your body. It increases your body temperature by 3 degrees. It increases your brain oxygenation by 200%. It increases your blood flow to the organs by 150%.
Wow.
So even a 20-minute walk is magical.
Yes.
For anybody who's not interested in going to the gym or doing yoga, if they feel it is too much of work, at least move your body, for 20 minutes by walking.
Right. And even if one feels way too cold outside, I think we can probably take a walk just inside the comfort of our homes as well. It's just a will that you need to have to maintain that, the right lifestyle.
Absolutely.
So, so as doctor mentioned, yoga, basic exercises, and or just going to the gym, that's going to keep you fit and healthy. But we feel that even diet plays a very important role as well. Do you have any suggestions for our audience in terms of the kind of diet that one can prefer, especially during this season?
This is a very important question, because a lot of people tend to miss out on that. They think, body pain in general and your body, a lot of people feel lethargic during winter, especially. Mainly, it is attributed to something called inflammation. If your body is under some kind of inflammation, you are going to have joint pains, muscle pains, you're going to feel dull, and so on and so forth. The single most reason for inflammation, especially during winter, is consuming a lot of white sugar, refined sugar.
Yes.
Yeah. Refined sugar is a killer, basically. A lot of people don't realize. They go for these comfort foods. A lot of people want to watch TV and eat a lot of junk food, especially during winter. They think that's going to make them happier. But trust me, maybe it gives them a few minutes of pleasure and many hours of pain, is what I would say. The single most thing, please reduce, if not avoid, at least try to reduce the amount of white sugar, refined sugar you take. That's number one. And number two, if you are a person who's not used to eating a lot of vegetables, I would say to keep your body well hydrated. People always think about water, they think about fruits, but vegetables do play a key role in keeping your body hydrated, especially during winter. So you have to take at least 2 servings of any form of vegetable, whichever is available in your part of the country. Please don't neglect vegetables. 2 portions a day, that really helps.
Yeah. While we love our hot chocolate coffee and tea, I think we could probably switch to more alternatives, and correct me if I'm wrong here, stevia or green tea as well, once in a while. That probably should be a healthier alternative sometimes. Rightly mentioned by doctor, having an active lifestyle is just a part of maintaining your overall body health. You also need to keep a check on diet, a balance between obviously comfort food, but also healthier food as well. So true, doctor, so true. So while we have covered the basics, and we have a couple of questions related to the basic exercises from the audience as well, related to neck pain and shoulder pain, we will be addressing them at the end of the session. Doctor, we have this very commonly asked question, which is that while we understand the difference between a muscle pain and joint pain, do you suggest any duration that people should look for if the pain persists for a long time before consulting a doctor? Because a lot of these people are living in remote places as well, and it's very inconvenient for them to regularly visit a doctor. So what do you suggest there?
You're right. This is another important question, Vaishnavi. See, the body is a phenomenal device on its own. It can cure itself in most of the situations. If a pain lasts for more than a week, any pain which lasts more than a week, I would say you need to consult an expert. Because most of the pains which, acute pains are self-limiting. 2 to 3 days, it goes off on its own. But anything more than a week, if the pain is persisting or if the pain is increasing over a period of time, especially a week, and definitely, they need to consult an expert on that. That's one very important thing, Vaishnavi.
Wow. But that's very important, especially for our parents and our elders. They're always finding excuses to not visit a doctor because of various reasons that they have. I think this is a very important insight that we have. And even for the younger generation as well, most of us are working desk jobs, and we are supposed to sit on the chair for more than 5-10 hours. And I think that leads to a lot of backache and shoulder issues as well. in addition to the diet issue that we asked you, do you think since the pandemic, a lot of vitamin supplements have been, suggested by nutritionists as well as doctors? What is your take on that? And do you think that helps in pain control as well?
Yeah, see, good that the pandemic brought the awareness of supplements on the whole. Because in general, people in our country are a little reluctant, right? They think I'm
Yes,
having enough food, so why should I take a supplement? Is a supplement necessary and stuff?
true.
It is just not the pain, Vaishnavi. On the whole, in general, everybody should have the habit of consuming supplements. Because gone are
Okay.
those days, especially 25, 30 years ago, if you actually take an orange, it actually had the sufficient nutrient profile of what an orange should have. But if you look at the current scenario, right, you have to consume 7 to 8 oranges to get the same amount of nutrients what you used to get in one orange
Right.
30 years ago. Now, this could be attributed to farming, pesticides. There are 100 reasons for that. So if you
Right.
look at the reasons, it is a debate on its own. So, but coming back to how do we combat that? Instead of complaining that food is deficient of nutrients and stuff, you should be smart enough to understand how do we combat that, right? So supplements, especially multivitamin supplements, are definitely needed
Okay.
for everybody. Gone are those days when they say a 60 plus person should take supplements. But right now, the kind of food we eat, the kind of lifestyle we guys live, and the kind of see, you know what? Recent research even said that an average human being, especially in India, is consuming 6 times more sugar than what he or she was consuming 15 years ago. That
Wow.
was a very alarming statistic, because
Indeed.
once that happens, right, eventually, even with the more sugar you consume, it is going to deplete your body of nutrients as well. And a lot of
Right.
people are not exposed to adequate sunlight these days. A lot of people don't eat the adequate amount of vegetables these days, the adequate amount of fruits these days. So the intake has come
Right.
down significantly. So taking all these things into consideration, yes, definitely a multivitamin supplement, and the other supplements would definitely help people to live or to have a better quality of life, for sure.
Right. Rightfully said, doctor. I think vitamin D supplements are something that is suggested the most. So we could probably look into that and ask our nutritionist to make it, more convenient for us to add that into our diet as well. Addressing, because this question was very much a myth or a fact question, we'll also be moving forward and addressing some more myths and facts that were asked by our audience as well. So the biggest myth is that if during this season, if you rest a lot, your pain is cured easily. I think you've already answered that, but what do you suggest? Someone who's a healthy person but might not be having a lot of pain, would look at it at this way, that if that person is working for 10 hours a day, the next 4 hours are supposed to be, binge watching OTT and just relaxing, eating the comfort food. How would you want to answer that question?
See,
Is it a myth or a fact?
that's definitely a myth. Bed rest is the best cure for pain, is what they said. No, I think it's a big myth. In fact, your body is meant to, you're supposed to move your body as much as you can. That's the
Yes.
best nutrition what you can give your body. The food you eat comes secondary. The more you move, the better it is, irrespective of your weather. Yeah, so I
Okay.
wouldn't say bed rest is the cure for pain, unless it is see, if you have an accident, or if you have a
Yes.
surgery, or if you have a problem where you broke your bone, or there is some disease which which has been diagnosed, and probably your body needs rest to obviously recuperate. Not for a common man. Yeah.
Right. So true. The second one is a more serious one. So when it comes to body weight, it does lead to a lot of issues other than joint pain and muscle pain as well. But do you feel maintaining a certain weight or losing more weight, if it is suggested by the doctor, that is the right thing to do, and that helps overall in your joint pain or muscle pain or shoulder pain as well?
This is the truth. I
Okay.
admit with this, Vaishnavi, because definitely if you lose weight, it is going to be easy on your joints. It is going to be easy on your supporting tissues as well. Especially if somebody is obese, or if he or she's on the higher side, definitely losing a few pounds is going to help them be more active and pain-free for sure. And there is a simple formula which I can tell people through this live. For example, if you can take your height in centimeters, if you're 180 centimeters, you can have a general formula that you minus 100 from that, and plus or minus 5. That should be your body weight. It's an easy way to track it. For example, if you're 180 centimeters tall, and if you minus 100, 80 plus or minus 5 can be your weight. So that's a healthy weight. So that's a simple formula of what people can remember. Yeah.
Right. That is going to be a lot of help to us, I guess. So the third one is a very unique question asked by one of our users, and they mentioned that their mom has been facing an issue with the arthritis pain, and because it is obviously genetically transferred to the younger generation as well, and this person was facing pain, joint pain. We came to this conclusion. They came to this conclusion, and they wanted to ask this question: that does every pain, if persisting over a long period of time, it means it's arthritis, or because that scares people off, and they just want to know if this could be one of the factors that they should consider while visiting a doctor and learn more about it while sharing the family history.
Yeah. So this is a very important point again, Vaishnavi. Yes, if any of your family members had arthritis in the past, there is a probability that you could get it as a younger person, but not necessarily you are going to get it. There is a specific type of arthritis called rheumatoid arthritis. It comes under autoimmune arthritis. See, arthritis is nothing but degeneration and inflammation of the joints. You rather keep it as inflammation of joints, to be simple. There are two types of arthritis which are very common. One is osteoarthritis. That is the degeneration of the joints, which is very common in the knee joint. The other one is the rheumatoid arthritis. Yeah. So osteoarthritis, not necessarily it is genetically transmitted. It can come for anybody. If you don't take care of your health starting early in your life, you are more prone for arthritis, osteoarthritis especially. If you're going to be obese, if you're going to have a sedentary lifestyle, if you're not going to move your body much, if you're going to eat a lot of sugar, if you're going to smoke, a lot of alcohol, binging, all these things definitely would lead to osteoarthritis. If you had an injury to your joints, that will lead to osteoarthritis. But coming to rheumatoid, it is basically something which can come from your ancestors, your parents, heredity. Yeah, but not all joint pains are arthritis. Let's be clear. And people don't have to panic about it.
It's a myth, but definitely look into it once you've been facing that issue with the doctor, because I think the best advice is to visit a doctor to learn about your pain more than anyone else in your family or in the society. Doctor, your answers have been very, very helpful, and I believe that this would also help my own family to address a lot of issues that they've had. Thank you for that. We have a lot of questions coming up from the audience, and they're really excited to, So there's this one asked by Vignesh, which is, please suggest about the knee pain on right leg. My age is 28, and what exercise should I do? I think this is a general issue faced by a lot of people in this millennial generation a lot, because we just started working.
Absolutely. 28, knee pain, 90% of the time, I would even say 95% of the time, it comes because of inactivity. And the common problem, what people end up is called chondromalacia patella most of the time. That's mainly because of not giving much, activity to your legs. If you are especially one of those people who are sitting and working for long hours, you will be prone for knee pain. So basic exercises, there are some easy ones, which you can Google online, which you can check on YouTube. Quadriceps and hamstring exercises. Very simple. You can just sit in the chair and do it for 2 to 3 minutes, and it really works. That's one. 28 years old, again, I will ask you to do some kind of training, be it gymming, yoga, bicycling, could it be anything, but please move your body. It's a humble request, and it'll go away. Trust me on that.
Right. I hope that helps you, Vignesh. Moving on to the next question. It is about by Nishbala Krishna Cholai. Please correct me if I pronounce that wrong. Doctor, how long will it take for the ligament knee strains to heal? Does yoga help?
So it's a very good question. See, ligament strains or ligament tears in general take a longer time to heal than a bone injury. Let's keep this. Let's get this clear.
Could you
Because
help us understand what a ligament knee strain is? Because I think most of us are not aware.
I can even show you a model if you don't mind.
Yeah,
See,
sure.
glad he asked me about a knee because I had a knee model right beside me.
Okay.
See, if you can look at this this model, this is the knee joint. All right, the bones, the white one, what you see are the bones. All right. If I open this up, there are these orange color structures inside. If you can see that.
Right.
They are the ligaments. See, the
Okay.
ligaments are the soft tissues which actually are needed for the knee to any joint to function better. You know, it holds the knee in place. Plus, it helps in the movements in most of the joints. So yes, the ligaments are relatively less vascular. Vascular, what I mean is the blood supply to the ligaments are a little lesser than a bone in general. So it takes a little longer time to heal. Knee ligament injuries probably depends upon the type of ligament. There are almost 6 important ligaments in the knee. Roughly, it takes 3 to 4 months is what I would say. Even if it's a simple strain, yeah, it is going to take 3 to 4 months. Some people say a month, but no, definitely 3 to 4 months. Yeah. And if it's a complete tear, probably some even might need surgical intervention. But otherwise, yeah, I think it will heal on its own. But you will need some kind of physical therapy and rehabilitation for sure.
Right. Thank you for answering that, doctor. I hope this helps. Moving on to the questions further. While I'm also going through the questions, we would just we are just keen to know people who are very involved in sports activities and sports in general. They face a lot of knee issues, and people who play football, there's a lot of sprain that is there. Do you suggest anything for people involved a lot in sports? Because I think a lot of questions were related to that as well.
Exactly. Another important question. I love the questions which are coming up because these are the most important questions which everybody should know. See, the most common thing in context with an athlete or anybody who plays a sport is that many don't have a proper warm-up and a cool-down routine. They just jump into the sport, and they are full on into it. They get excited and they tend to overdo it. So my advice to anybody who plays a sport, be it a professional or a non-professional, please warm your body up. Have a basic warm-up routine, 10 to 15 minutes before any sporting activity. And after you play that sport and after the game, have a 15-minute cool-down routine as well. That is mandatory because most of the injuries, 90% of the injuries are because of inadequate warm-up and, no cool-down routine.
Right. So warm-up is a must as suggested by doctor for everyone who's just learning to start a sport or involved in sport activities in general. Please follow that advice as stated by doctor. Moving on to okay, this is a very technical question, so I could be wrong here. Just correct me.
Sure.
I have a disc bulge. I'm not supposed to bend. I'm not supposed to walk for more than 200 meters. A strict no to yoga as well. She is on the overweight side as well. And it is suggested that by the doctor that she should lose weight. And there is a family pressure as well. So I think doctor mentioned it in the starting of the live session as well about keeping the balance of mental health and physical health in place. So I think that would address this question. Please, doctor, please help us answer this question as well.
Yeah, this is actually I really appreciate that person for asking that question and coming out in the open saying that there is family pressure as well.
Yes.
See, first and foremost, don't really worry about what other people say. To start off with, number one, even if it's your family members, it's okay. You don't have to explain yourself. Number one. Number two is that, see, I hope it is a lumbar disc bulge. When you say disc bulge, it's mostly a problem either in the neck or the lower back. And considering your weight and the kind of explanation you gave, it's probably in the lower back. So a disc bulge is not something to be worried. I mean, you don't have to be worried about a disc bulge because there are 4 stages in case of a disc problem. A bulge, a prolapse, a protrusion, and an extrusion. A prolapse and an extrusion are really dangerous because you can end up in paralysis. There are so many things, complications with that. But considering a bulge, I don't think you have to really get worried, number one. And number two, there are some basic exercises which you can do if you have a bulge. I'm sure you are advised to consult a physiotherapist following that. I'm sure your doctor would have asked you to consult a therapist. So you do some basic therapy for your lower back, for the bulge, and there are some disc specific exercises what you can learn from your therapist, from your physiotherapist. Definitely that's more than enough. And I think you'll have very good relief in a matter of 6 to 8 weeks if it is only a bulge. So you don't have to be very hard on yourself. And yeah, you can walk, you can bend and lift things after the period of 6 to 8 weeks if you follow those exercises strictly. And if it is just a bulge, it will not stop you from doing anything in the future as well. So you don't have to worry.
Yes. I directly pointed out by Dr. Ashwin, taking care of your health is the number one priority. So listening to the society or family above that is not the right thing to do. Take care of your health and everything else just falls in place. That is very important. There's another question by Akash. The question is, I did a surgery in 2019. The plate is titanium material. It needs to be removed or not. I'm not sure about that. Could you suggest anything?
Sure. Akash, if it's a if it's a titanium plate, you don't have to remove it in general, because stainless steel plates will have to be removed. Titanium plates last long, even for for a lot of time. People till death, they don't even get it removed. If at all you feel it is cosmetically troubling you, or if you have some pain, or if it is hindering you with few activities, probably you can consider to get that removed in a year from now. Ideally 2 years post surgery you can remove it. So yeah, otherwise you can just leave it the way it is.
Okay. I hope that helps, Akash. Okay. So there's one generic question that we would want to answer first, and then we'll move on to the other question. There's one question by Neer Azad. Hi, sir. Recently joined gym and being active, but every time I try to push myself more, the stories of gym heart attacks are crossing my mind. How do I overcome that technically, physically, and mentally? Yeah, I think this is a personal question as well. A lot of people.
A lot of people, right? There is, again, I would say there is a myth going around saying that if you hit the gym, you are going to get a heart attack. It is an absolute no. See, a lot of people either, they die at the gym because of, I'm talking about the proven, stats so far. Either they had a pre-existing heart condition, which was not diagnosed earlier, or number two, they had an existing heart condition, but still they tried to push themselves harder. So these are the two reasons why a lot of people have died over the last few years because of gymming. Honestly, if you take the right guidance and if you train right, and if you're not overdoing it, I don't think you're going to get a heart attack. And it is I would say it is more beneficial than doing the bad things for your health.
Yes, and I think they could, if anyone has joined a gym, the trainers are available for the right advice. I think one should definitely seek that, because maintaining a balance of your diet and health is only going to be the reason you're going to prevent yourself from the diseases.
But please do take some professional help before you start training. And you can visit a doctor to get yourself checked overall, do a master health checkup or a general body checkup, and then you can start training. Yeah, that's pretty important, I would say.
Yeah, actually that brings us to our next question. Preventive health checkups. I think it wasn't very popular before the pandemic. A lot of people are taking their health more seriously now in terms of getting blood tests, especially our parents, because they've been trying to ignore that for a long time. Do you suggest any particular health checkup or overall health checkup that is required for bone pain, muscle pain, joint pain, and overall health for a person?
See, for a general person, I would say above the age of 45, it's better to do a complete master health checkup. That includes your routine blood tests, a basic scan for your heart, a basic scan for your liver, and a basic blood profiling to rule out your cholesterol levels, your diabetic levels, and so on and so forth. So this is a fundamental thing which is needed above the age of 45. Yeah, this is a very basic thing. Pretty much it's available all over the country, and most of the hospitals and the laboratories do that.
Right.
So I think that's more than enough to start with.
Okay. Okay. I hope that helps. The next question is by Kalia Murthy Murugaraj. Can a person with single kidney consume coenzyme tablet? I think that's a very specific
That's a
question,
very
but if
yeah.
yeah, I
But
think
still,
that is yeah.
yeah,
Please go ahead, doctor.
yeah. Kalimurthy, see, coenzyme is CoQ10 is what it's commonly known as. Yes, it is safe, but definitely I would ask you to consult your nephrologist or your kidney doctor, whoever you are in touch, before you consume any kind of supplements or any kind of tablets. In general, if you have one kidney, it is definitely safe, but still, I would ask you to go and check your current status of your kidneys and then consume any of those supplements.
Okay, yeah, that should be helpful. I think this would be the last question that we'll be taking up from the audience. And after that, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to reach out to us or Dr. Ashwin through the DMs. And he has created a lot of content on his Instagram and YouTube as well for his Tamil audience as well as the overall Indian audience. I think we did our research before joining the live session, and we have suggested that to our own team as well, who's working remotely across India. So this question is by Airborne Anand. Not behind my knee. Pain flares up if I extend leg for prolonged periods of time. If I sit cross-legged, please suggest any remedies.
See, if you're going to have pain in the back of the knee, especially when you extend your knee, I would ask you to go consult a doctor who's a nearby doctor to evaluate it first. Because if there is a soft tissue problem in the knee, or if there is any mechanical problem, you will have pain when you extend your knee, especially in the back portion of your knee. So than blindly suggesting a remedy, I would request you to get yourself evaluated.
Yes. That is rightfully pointed out by Dr. Ashwin, that if there is any problem that persists for you, whether it's joint pain or any physical issue that you're facing, it's always good to get a medical advice before using your own remedies, because that's going to be a long-term cure and everyone would want that for themselves. So before concluding this session, Dr. Ashwin, the most frequently asked questions, and I feel you've already addressed this during the session, is this particular season, especially in North, is very harsh for the elderly. Is there any exercise that you suggest while sitting or while resting, especially people who have gone through surgeries and more, that they could do to prevent themselves from the prolonged pain that they go through at home? Yeah.
At home. See, I think we spoke about this in the beginning of the live itself.
Yes.
To start with, please avoid refined sugar, because definitely what we eat has a huge impact in case of an arthritis flare-up or any kind of joint pain flare-up. So number one, please avoid white sugar, refined sugar. And number two, if possible, please restrict your dairy intake as well, because dairy is known to cause inflammation in a lot of people. So let that be number two. And number three, please don't be idle. Even if you are inside your house, please try to move your body as much as possible. I'm not saying don't push yourself. Don't push yourself to move beyond your tolerable limits, but please move your body, move your hands, move your wrists. There are these basic things what you can do. There are a lot of YouTube videos on how you can do it. Sitting on a chair, sitting on a bed, and any of those things. Just try to move your body for at least 20 to 30 minutes a day. So these three things will definitely help the elderly population to stay relatively pain-free and more stronger, especially during winter.
Yes, I think dairy intake is one very big issue with our elderly population. Tea is very important, a very integral part of their day, something that they struggle with a lot. But definitely, moving to probably green tea. Do you suggest any other?
See, I generally don't suggest anything fancy. Yeah, if you like green tea, please go for it. I like chamomile teas, so I personally try to drink that. But even a basic turmeric tea, warm water with half a teaspoon of turmeric and 1 drop of honey, if possible, that does wonders than any other tea. It's easily doable. 1 glass of warm water with a couple of tulsi leaves and half a spoon of turmeric and 1 drop of honey. That's fair enough. That
Yes,
does
I
wonders, and
think
it's full of antioxidants as well, Vaishnavi. It
yes,
really
yes.
helps.
I think we started consuming that a lot during the COVID period. And when we were younger, I remember my grandparents used to give me that in the morning before I had my milk. So I think that is a very important part of building a strong immune system as well. Thank you, doctor.
Thank
I
you.
think you addressed a lot of questions that we had from our audience and in the team as well. Thank you for that. We would just want you to conclude the session if you have anything to say to our audience, if you suggest anything, and talking a little bit about maintaining a balance of physical health, mental health, and overall a good lifestyle throughout the year, since we're just approaching 2023 now.
Right. I would just like to keep it simple, Vaishnavi. Just 3 simple. Number 1, please move your body, irrespective of your age. It doesn't matter. Please move your body for at least 30 to 45 minutes a day. And number 2, a lot of us we've been used to working, sitting and working inside these boxes, inside these offices and these closed spaces. So please get at least 30 minutes of sun exposure every single day. It could be at the beginning of the day. It's a lot more easier for a lot of people. So you wake up, 30 minutes of sun exposure. It's excellent. And number 3, I do talk about this a lot, but again, I'm going to tell this in this again. Please increase your intake of vegetables. A lot of people talk about fruits. A lot of people talk about these fancy quinoas and all these fancy fat diets. That's all fine. But to keep it simple, please increase your intake of vegetables at least by 2 to 3 portions a day. It's not too hard to do, just 2 to 3 portions a day. So I wish you guys a fantastic 2023, and I hope these 3 things will help you in 2023 to kickstart a new you, and it will definitely unleash a new you if you can follow these 3 simple things.
Yes. Thank you so much, Dr. Ashwin. I think it's people like you who are just not very professional with their work, but also helping the country by sharing their knowledge and actually making an impactful difference towards making it a better India for sure. And thank you so much for being in this session and helping out the audience. We would love to connect more over the next year and share, help the audience with more questions as well. And yes, thank you for being the part
Thank you.
of this session.
Thank you, Vaishnavi. And thank you, the Better India. And definitely we will come together to make India a better country for sure.
Yes, for
Thank
sure.
you.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Thank you.